Welcome back to another episode of yours truly, Trisha.
And Emil.
Obviously. Today we are going to share something a little bit more personal, and I think it might help couples out there who are listening. And it's about a time that we did couples therapy.
Interesting.
He barely remembers.
But I know, I remember I opposed it, and I was like, we don't need therapy. I mean, I was in complete denial.
And I think that's very normal for one of the partners, or even both sometimes, to feel that they don't need it. And I think at the time, see, this is why it worked, because we actually don't really remember, and we're now almost 16 years strong married. But this was, I think it was in our second or third year of marriage, before we had kids, and
hit a bit of a funk.
Yeah,
right?
and you know, we were partying a lot.
Like separate partying, like
yes.
We weren't partying together. We would always party with separate friends, and then sometimes meet after, or not really, but like, I don't know.
At the time, I think I had a big issue with your drinking and blacking out, and you were just not in control of yourself, I guess. And I think the therapy, I think, was at a point where we really, we questioned whether we would continue our marriage, if it was worth it. Because at the time, we were together already for such a long time, at such a young age. Then we got married, and we partied, we didn't have kids. And I think, you know, we were questioning if there was a future.
Yeah.
Still a future, you know, like we were young, and we got married after being together for so long as kids. So I think we were just going, when I look back, it's like we were going through the growing pains of growing up together, and like really getting to understand each other through this like stage where most kids aren't like married, you know. We'd seen each other through so many stages.
We did, yeah. And we were moved out together. We were living together. We were we both had our, you know, separate jobs basically, and you know, our own career paths more or less. And I guess we were going almost separate ways at times.
Yeah, and I think the therapy, I think I was the one that suggested it, and you were kind of pushing back, like, we don't need this. It was almost like, and I think, you know, it was, I think I did it separately first. I think we each did it separately, and then we came together and did couples therapy. And it was really helpful because she was a good sounding board and just like listened to us kind of talk it through, and she mediated the conversation. And I think for me, and I don't think you remember this, is what some of the homework that she gave us in one of the sessions that is the turning point for me, is when she asked us to write each other a letter dated on like our 10-year wedding anniversary, and write it from a perspective of like what your life would look like and why you were so excited about celebrating 10 years together. So we had to both do that, and then in the next session we came back and had to read each other the letter. You don't remember that, do you?
I vaguely remember it. Yeah, I don't remember. I actually, do you still have the letter?
I probably do. I do. And his letter to me, he wrote, and this is honestly, I think I opened my eyes a little bit. I said, okay, like our marriage does deserve a chance, that we have to work at it. Is that you said it was our 10-year anniversary that we were in Hawaii. For the record, we did not go to Hawaii on our 10-year anniversary. And then we had a girl and a daughter and a son, and that they were playing in the water. You wrote this whole scenario about how our 10-year anniversary, we'd have 2 kids, and they were young. We were in Hawaii, and so for me, I thought, man, like, we got to give this a try. We got to work at this, and I'm so glad that we did.
I said 2 kids.
Yes, but you know what? On our 10-year anniversary, we just had Noah. She was 5 months. We ended up going to Mexico. Was in Hawaii. I didn't have a daughter and a son. I had 2 daughters. They were 6 years apart.
But we did think Harper was a boy initially.
Yes.
Like, I mean, when she was in the belly, because for both births, we didn't know the sex of the kid.
Yeah.
Right. So we felt strongly that I think Harper was a boy.
Anyway, back to therapy.
Oh yes. Therapy.
So, and I think this is, the message I'm trying to put out there is that it doesn't necessarily mean that therapy is not just for when you're in a challenging point in your relationship or marriage. I think it's important to consider it when you just want those like check-ins, and it's great for healthy relationship. It's healthy for people to go to therapy as a couple, I believe, because you can talk it through in a different way and have someone else's insight and have someone kind of talk you through what you are both feeling. I think at the time, you know, I think I was just trying to find myself, and yeah, I'm really happy that we considered it, because, you know, coming from Filipino parents, it wasn't like therapy wasn't a thing.
No. You know what?
But we learned how to communicate through those therapy sessions, and now
totally did.
like, you know, just I think there's something to be said about the handwritten letter and me reading that. That for me was a shift. It shifted how I thought we had to work at this. And, you know, in 2 years of being married, you know, it's sometimes you think it's just going to come very easy to you. And it doesn't.
And it doesn't. even after years and years of being together, I think relationships, you got to definitely put work in it, and just not get lost in the day-to-day mundane activities.
And not always just throw in the towel, which can be the easier solution. So that's my spiel. But yeah, we did do therapy, and I'm okay to talk about it, and I'm glad that we did, because we're here today, still
Absolutely.
married.
And I pushed back on it, like huge.
Yeah.
Until we started it, and it did. You know,
he was like, "We don't need it. We don't." And you know what? Like, if we hadn't, who knows what would have happened? But I'm just really glad that we did.
It was a good sounding board, because, like, literally, she had us both in the room together, like, just
talking through what we had,
things,
what
right?
we felt, and you know, and maybe you heard it differently coming from her.
Yeah, I heard it differently for sure. I honestly feel like she lightened things up between us, because I feel like you were very hard on me at times.
Okay.
And the therapist was like, "Wait, hold on," and so made her pump her brakes. So I was so.
I don't remember that.
I do remember this, because I was just like, it was almost like.
I don't remember that.
I was like, almost like vindication. Like, I know,
Okay.
just chill, like, you know. So
Thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll see you soon.
we need more therapy.